Hello, I'm Paul David, and this is Moments. Welcome back. Today we go deeper, not just into presence, but into the intelligence of silence, the architecture of stillness, and how to live from that place every day. We've been told presence is a nice idea, a breathing exercise, a temporary refuge. But presence is not a technique you pull out of convenience. It's a map. It's a home. It's the operating system of life. And that isn't being run by reactivity, by old hurts, or by the constant hum of what you want. So let's explore three things. What silence actually does, how to make presence practical in daily life, and how showing up in stillness transforms your relationships, your choices, your suffering. Silence is not the absence of sound. Silence is the presence of clarity. When you sit in silence, really sit, two things happen. First, the noise that tells you who you should be starts to quiet. The ads, the judgments, the inner critic, the social scripts, they lose volume. Second, the softer, wiser voice inside you regains bandwidth. That voice is not loud. It tends to be humble, patient, and deeply honest. This voice knows your limits and your gifts. It knows what drains you and what feeds you. It doesn't point you toward grandiosity or scarcity. It points you toward coherence. That coherence is the difference between living from reaction and living from response. Reaction is fast, loud, and often rooted in old pain. Response is slow, clear, and rooted in presence. So silence does three practical things. It surfaces truth. It gives you immune space from reactivity. And it reconnects you to what actually matters. Presence isn't mystical when it works. It's practical. Here are simple practices that bring silence into your life without needing you to retreat to a mountaintop. The first practice we call micro-presences. Throughout your day, all I want you to do is stop for 30 seconds. And when you do, drop your shoulders. Feel your feet. Breathe slowly 3 times. That's it. Micro-presences interrupt automatic pilot and recalibrate your nervous system. The next practice is called the 2-question pause. Now, before reacting, whether it's in a meeting, in a text, in the car, I'd like you to ask 2 questions silently. What is true right now? And what does love want? No, not sentimental love, but loving clarity. Believe it or not, these questions will change the shape of your response. Next, it's called anchor practices. Create small anchors for presence. A sound, a bell, an object, a stone, a habit. Placing your hand on your heart for 5 breaths. Make them consistent. The brain learns fast, and repetition makes presence acceptable. Next, present checkpoints. Pick 3 times in your day to check in. Morning, midday, and evening. Not to problem solve, but to taste stillness. During each check, name 1 thing you feel and 1 thing you need. This keeps you honest and prevents small stresses from becoming avalanches. The last practice, ritualize transition. Use silence to move from one part of life to another. When you leave work, stop for a minute before entering your home. When a conversation ends, breathe. Transition rituals keep presence intact so it doesn't leak away. If you'd really like to learn these practices, rewind this video, play it again and again and again. For someone to be truly good at what they do, they must practice. And presence is just as important as learning to play the piano, is just as important as learning a new skill. Because when you live from presence, your relationships change. Not because you suddenly become perfect, but because you stop projecting. You stop expecting others to fill the gaps silence is meant to hold. Presence teaches you to listen differently. You start hearing people beneath their stories. It changes your decisions. Choices made from panic are messy. Choices made from presence are fewer, clearer, and more aligned with your actual life. And it changes suffering. Now, present doesn't erase pain, but it refuses to add needless suffering to it. Pain is inevitable, secondary to suffering. The story that multiplies pain is optional. Presence allows pain to be felt without becoming a narrative that enslaves you. When grief arrives, people often try to fix it with busyness, with advice, with avoidance. Presence asks you to hold the grief, to name it, to sit with the body's language. That sitting over time integrates the loss instead of fragmenting the soul. There's a teacher inside each and every one of you who never graduated from external validation. That teacher will send you exams in the form of anxiety, comparison, and the need to prove. Silence is the classroom where you finally graduate. The lessons you learn there are not about accumulation. They're about alignment. Ask yourself, what would it look like to live a day guided by the quiet voice rather than by the loud one? Maybe you decline invitations that drain you. Maybe you'd say a different kind of yes. Maybe you'd stop performing for the applause and start answering what's true in your chest. We all need to start listening. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to listen twice as much as we speak. So I'd like you to do a short exercise with me. If you can, sit comfortably. But if not, you can keep listening and you can do it later. What I'd like you to do is close your eyes gently. Place one hand over your heart. Take a long, slow inhale to a count of 4. Now hold it for 2. And then exhale for 6. I'd like you to do that 3 times. If you'd like to pause this video while you're doing that, that's great. If not, you can certainly continue. Now, soften your attention. Don't chase sensations. Let them come. Notice sounds without labeling them. Notice thoughts without following them. If your mind drifts, bring it back. Bring it back to the rhythm of your breath. Nothing dramatic, just patient redirection. Stay in this place for 30 seconds. Feel how your system responds. And as soon as you're done, I'd like you to silently say to yourself, I am here. Not as a mantra to fix you, but as a recognition. That recognition is enough to change the chemistry in that very moment. Presence is not an achievement. It's an invitation to live as the person who is awake, not as someone who is anesthetized by doing. It's an invitation to remember that you are not your history, your to-do list, your fears. You are the space in which those things appear. Practice it small. Be patient. And when you miss it, and you will, come back. There's no failure in returning. If this episode shifted you, don't rush back into the noise. Sit with the feeling. Anchor it in your body and let it guide one small choice today. If you enjoyed this video, share it with someone who needs permission to be still. Tell them you don't have to fix anything right now. Just be here. I'm Paul David, and this moment was for you. Until next time, stay still, stay conscious, stay present. Thank you.